So when you draw the mouth, you want to begin by placing it well. It's in between the base of the nose and the chin. If you cut that distance in half, it's the bottom of the lower lip, not the in-between part. So make that distinction. The halfway point is the bottom of the lower lip. So once you have found that spot, you begin at the center, like where's your center line? And then you want to begin with the partition between the two lips. And the way you want to think about it is this. You want to think about it in terms of it being a wire that looks like an M. And this wire has these little handles that you can kind of hold on to. And you can either take this wire and push it together and end up with a kind of more compressed mouth like this. Or you can pull it apart and end up with a wider portion. So in case you're not following, you can compress it into a short M or pull it apart into a very wide M. So that's one way of varying. And then once you have that partition between the lips, you want to think about the individual lips in terms of pillows. You have 3 pillows on top, middle pillow, side pillow, and then 2 pillows on the bottom. And they vary, again, in terms of how far down they reach. So notice even though I have the partition of the lip go all the way this way, the pillow might already kind of end right here, or the pillow can extend all the way to the edge of the lip. So their reach varies, their thickness varies. You can vary this middle pillow, it's called the tubercle of the lip. It can dip down like this, or it can kind of dome up like that. So, dome up like that. So that is a variable as well. And then your bottom pillows are the same thing. You can keep them very short or carry them all the way out to the corners of the mouth. You want to avoid outlining the lips because it flattens your attempts at making it look realistic. Instead, you want to look at the lips in terms of tone. Upper lip is often angled away from the light because it's angling into the skull. So often the whole thing will be in shadow, casting a little bit of a shadow onto the lower lip. Unless the person has very full lips, when it will be more like the light is reaching the top of the lip and then the bottom of the lip is kind of curling away from the light. For the lower lip, again, we want to leave this here open because otherwise it will look like a bad lip liner job, flattening out your attempts at making this realistic. Instead, you want to look for, there are these 2 columns underneath the lower lip. They belong to a muscle that's attaching to the jaw. And in between, there's a little bit of a groove often, and there might be a shadow sitting in between here. So find those 2 shapes. It kind of adds some structure to the base of this and supports the lower lip. Lastly, about the lips, you want to have the corners of the lips represented. And so they're almost like these little comma shapes or little, like the insides of a donut hole that creates this little bit of a bump right there. So don't forget about that. Let's talk about the lips when you don't see them straight on, because right now I drew them as if they're straight on. As soon as you have this turn 3/4, what was a symmetrical mouth, left to right, starts to change. So if this is the symmetrical arc where both sides are the same, if you have a 3/4 point of view, that arc will change, where you have the apex now offset from the center. One segment is shorter, the one that's further away from you, and one segment is longer. So our mouths will follow that same logic. if you look at this example, this side of the mouth is further away from us. This side of the mouth is closer to us. So I have a long segment here. The apex of this arc is here. So short segment, long segment, and yet everything is arranged in the same manner. I looked for my M separation. I have the corners of the mouth. I'm starting to look at what are these pillows like? How do they overlap each other? I'm looking for those columns under here, making sure that this reads as one dome that's kind of going underneath the nose and ending where the chin dome is.